Will the Senate please come to order? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Aquino. Senator Awa. Senator Chang. Senator DeCoit.
Here.
Senator Dela Cruz. Senator Elefante.
Here.
Senator Favela. Senator Fukunaga. Senator Gabbard. Senator Hashimoto. Senator Ihara.
Present.
Senator Inoue.
Present.
Senator Kanuha. Senator Keoho Kalole. Senator Kidani. Senator Kim. Senator Lee. Senator McKelvey. Senator Moriwaki.
Present.
Senator Rhodes. Senator Richards.
Here.
Senator San Buenaventura. Senator Shimabukuro. Senator Wakai. Mr. President,
Present.
all 25 members are present.
Thank you. The chair has read the journal of the preceding day and approves the same. Are there any introductions this morning? Senator Shimabukuro.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to introduce Sam Peck, my committee clerk. I also have Luke Henderson, my aide, and my chief of staff, Kiahi Renard. Mahalo for all your help this session.
Thank you. Further introductions? If not, Madam Clerk.
Governor's message numbers 1105 to 1107 inform the legislature that the governor signed various bills into law as Acts 5 to 7.
File.
On pages 2 through 5, House Communication numbers 768 to 771 inform the Senate that the House has reconsidered its action in disagreeing to the amendments made by the Senate to various House bills. On pages 5 to 7, House Communication number 772 informs the Senate that the House disagreed to the amendments made by the Senate to various House bills and that said bills passed final reading in the House. On page 7, House Communication number 773 informs the Senate that the House made changes to conferee assignments for a House bill. And on pages 8 to 11, House Communication numbers 774 to 778 inform the Senate that the House has appointed conferees for various bills.
So, Madam Clerk, I am not sure with my hearing ability, but the second paragraph, pages 5 to 7, I thought you said House Communication informs the Senate the House has disagreed. It is agreed. If you said agreed, fine. But anyway, let's file it under agreed.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, I did say disagreed. It should be that the House has agreed to the amendments made by the Senate.
Whew, I don't need the hearing aid yet. Next item, please.
On pages 12 to 17, Standing Committee Report numbers 3881 to 3902 for one-day notice.
So ordered.
On pages 18 to 20, advise and consent.
If there are no objections from the members, we will be taking advise and consent on consent.
Standing Committee Report numbers 3862 to 3865 on governor's messages for adoption.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Any reservations? Any no votes?
25 ayes.
Thank you. The nominees for said governor's messages have been confirmed. Senator Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could I be afforded a late introduction, some late
Please
introductions?
proceed.
Thank you. The OD included a number of individuals appointed to serve on various boards and commissions, many of whom are joining us today in the gallery. But I'm not actually positive everybody's here. So first, I'm pleased to introduce former House colleague Blake Oshiro, who has been confirmed for a second term on the Commission to Promote Uniform Legislation. If he's here, please give him a round of applause. We also confirmed National Federation of the Blind of Hawaii advocate James Gashel for a second term on the statewide elections accessibility needs advisory committee. I think Mr. Gashel is here too with his wife Susan. Congratulations. Now I turn to a newly created commission, the Hawaii State Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Transgender, Queer Plus, or LGBTQ Plus Commission. Today we confirm 7 of the nominees, along with an 8th nominee to be considered later this month, comprising the inaugural State LGBTQ Plus Commission. The 2022 law establishing the commission made findings about its purpose, including that there is a need to establish a body to improve the state's interface with the LGBTQ plus community, to identify the community's short and long-term needs, and to ensure that there's an effective means of researching, planning, and advocating for the equity of the LGBTQ plus population in all aspects of state government. These new commissioners, who are from the 4 counties and the Department of Health's Sexual and Gender Minority Work Group, and who bring their distinct viewpoints are all well suited to perform their duties. Please welcome in the gallery, and please, Commissioner, stand when I call your name, Dr. Sandy Harjo Livingston, a member from the City and County of Honolulu, Dr. Kathleen Odell, also a member from the City and County of Honolulu, Michael Galoyo Jr., a third member from the City and County of Honolulu, Richard Velasquez, the fourth City and County of Honolulu member, and Philip Steinbacher from the County of Kauai. Watching us via the live stream are Shonda Lewis, representing Department of Health Sexual and Gender Minority Work Group, and Joel Toby from the County of Maui. Members, please congratulate them on their appointments. Mahalo.
Thank you. Any further late introductions? Senator Kanuha.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to introduce from my district in Kona, Auntie Kavehi Naba and Malia Lewis from Laiopua 2020. Welcome to the Senate.
Thank you. Any other late introductions? If not, Madam Clerk.
On pages 20 to 25, adoption of resolutions. Standing Committee Report numbers 3866 to 3880 on resolutions for adoption.
Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I move for the adoption of Standing Committee Reports numbers 3866 to 3880.
Senator Decoit.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Senator Awa.
Mahalo Pelikikena, please mark down my opposition to HCR 77.
So noted. Further discussion? If not, do we have any other objections? Senator San Buenaventura?
Please note my opposition to HCR 138.
So noted. Further opposition, Senator Keohokalole, same item?
Same request, please.
Senator
Thank you.
Kim, no vote, same item. Senator Inouye?
Yes, same recommendation, a no on that measure, Mr. President.
So noted. No other objections, then all the resolutions have been adopted.
On page 25, final reading.
If there are no objections from the members, we'll take final reading on consent.
Final reading of Senate Bill 3122, House Draft 2, relating to public health standing orders.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Any reservations, any no votes?
25 ayes.
Thank you. SB 3122 HD2 passes final reading.
Referrals and re-referrals.
Referrals and re-referrals are made in accordance with the supplemental orders of the day and the order of the day that may be, or the supplemental orders that may be filed later today and today's order of the day.
On pages 26 and 27, miscellaneous business. Reconsideration of disagreement to House amendments and motions to agree. Senate Bill 2487, House Draft 1, relating to marijuana, and Senate Bill 2706, House Draft 1, relating to expungement of criminal records.
Senate conferees for Senate Bill numbers 2487 are hereby discharged. Senator Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate reconsider its previous action in disagreeing to the amendments made by the House to SB number 2487 and SB number 2706 and agree to said amendments.
Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Senator Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. President. On SB 2487, there are some substantive changes that were made in the House. I think they're reasonable, and I believe that the majority of the membership will support them, but let me just highlight them quickly. It increased the amount of marijuana that will be decriminalized in a violation with a fine or community service to 1 ounce or less of marijuana. Also increases the threshold amount for the second-degree offense of promoting a detrimental drug to 2 ounces of pakalolo, and it will make smoking pakalolo in a public place a violation, and will also exempt the possession of certain drug paraphernalia for pakalolo from certain penalties under the Uniform Controlled Substances Act.
Thank you.
Thank you. For SB 2706, this was this had been turned into a task force. The House made some additions to the task force membership and changed the objectives a little bit, but it's essentially the same bill that went over came over from the Senate. Mahalo.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. One-day notice is hereby given for final reading of SB 2487 HD1 and SB 2706 HD1. Madam Clerk?
Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 43, House Draft 1, urging the Hawaii Housing Finance and Development Corporation to amend the priority for which low-income housing tax credits are allocated and monies in the Rental Housing Revolving Fund are used and adopt certain administrative rules that incentivize the development of affordable housing in the state.
Senator Chang.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate reconsider its previous action in disagreeing to the amendments made by the House to SCR number 43 and agree to said amendments.
Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Senator Chang.
Thank you. The House amendments were merely technical and non-substantive in nature.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. One-day notice is hereby given for final adoption of SCR 43 HD1.
No further business, Mr. President.
Are there any announcements today? Senator Gabbard. Oh, yes, there is one.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues and guests, please join me and wish aloha congrats to our dear colleague, Senator Leslie Hara from Senate District 10, as he celebrates his 73rd birthday. He was first elected to the House in 1987, where he served for 8 years, and got elected to the Senate in 1995. Congratulations, aloha.
Any further announcements? If not, the chair has one. The deadline to file committee reports on amended House concurrent resolutions in order to meet Monday's second crossover deadline is 4:30 p.m. today. The Senate floor action memo issued this evening will include a list of all resolutions scheduled for adoption on Monday. Senator Wakai.
Mr. President, I move that the Senate stand in recess, leaving the journal open until 4:30 p.m. for the receipt of standing committee reports on House concurrent resolutions to be placed on the calendar for adoption. And I further move that the Senate reconvene on Monday, April 22nd at 11:30 in the morning.
Senator Decoit.
I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded. If there are no objections from the members, the Senate will stand in recess, leaving the journal open until 4:30 p.m. today, and will reconvene Monday at 11:30 a.m.